most important issues of our time right now is health. Now, our world as we know it as a whole is in absolute shambles when it comes to health. The average lifespan hasn't changed in quite some time, but the amount of people that live out a life of agony until they die is on the rise. I mean, let's not even talk about America being on prescription drugs. I mean, over half of America is. I mean, that's a really deep topic. What's going on is that people are looking to escape that sort of agony by taking some kind of pill or shot or cream in hopes that their medical conditions will vanish, or in the very least they can manage their health conditions, But for some of you, you're living in life of agony all the time. Your health is a liability, and that's a serious issue. Now, when I scan through social media, when I go to the store, I do a lot of people watching, I see a lot of people with chronic sickness, chronic diseases, obesity, of course, especially obesity, diabetes, heart conditions, and I can assure you that drugs will not solve those issues. You already know that though, So I'm here to discuss one thing with those of you that have health conditions. And that one thing is that you have bad habits. You probably know that already too. Now, I've examined all sorts of people that have illnesses or diseases, coached a lot of people, and most of them have two major things in common. Number one, they have absolutely terrible eating habits. And number two, they're chronically dehydrated. Now, I know there's exceptions to this aspect, but for the majority of you out there that have health issues, weight problems, etc., you're your own worst enemy. Your eating regimen is absolutely terrible, and you don't drink enough water. And I'm here to call you out on it, So let me make it perfectly clear to all of you. There's no super duper green supplement powder that you can balance out your poor eating habits. There's no HGH cream that you can rub on your skin that's going to get you into great health or rid your body of the sickness or diseases you have. There isn't any miracle pill, there's no miracle shot, there's no drink. There's no fairy dust that you can take that's going to eliminate your chronic health issues. What you have to do is go back to the basics and go from there. That's your starting point, the basics. And that's what everybody skips, So forget about looking for the newest supplement to cure this or that, or the hot weight loss product that your friend told you about. Focus on the basics first, the ones that mostly everybody avoids. What are you eating every day, and how much water are you drinking every day? Those are the two basics. So for those of you that have chronic illnesses, and I see a lot, especially on social media, or you got some type of sickness or disease, the question you must ask yourself, is the food you're eating contributing to your conditioning, or is it helping to take it away? Is it contributing to your condition, or is it helping to take it away? And I mean, it's just a matter of getting educated on this topic. Now, the good news is that there are plenty of health documentaries that you can watch that provide you with all the tools that you're going to need to make smarter choices in what you eat or drink. So you have no excuses. Start watching a lot of health documentaries. Now, we have a 22-day detox. Our program mandates that you watch several of these documentaries. I won't even work with you unless you agree to watch these documentaries, because you must know all the facts to make a conscious decision in what you do in everyday life. Now, in the world of eating, food really is only categorized two ways. It's either a dead food or it's an alive food. That's it. So let me tell you that most sickness or diseases are caused by consuming too many dead foods, And dead foods are considered an acid. And acid is destructive in nature. Dead foods have no life force left in them, But that's exactly what most people are eating. They're eating more dead foods. And they wonder why they keep getting these results, So, I mentioned dead foods are acids. What really are dead foods? Well, they're any kind of animal-based protein: beef, chicken, fish, eggs, shellfish. If it's an animal, it's considered a dead food. Dead foods are also processed foods, anything packaged, anything on the shelf in the grocery store, cookies, cereals, rice, starches, even wine or beer. They're all dead. And it's these dead foods that are the main cause of health issues. Dead foods, again, are considered an acid. Acid corrodes. Acid takes life from you. Acid decays. And for the most part, most of you are consuming way too many of these acids. If you have a chronic illness or disease, stop eating any dead foods and just see how fast your health turns around. If you haven't watched the documentary What the Health on Netflix, start there. Start watching that ASAP. Open up your mind, Now on the flip side, there's the alive foods. The alive foods are considered alkaline. Now alkaline is the opposite of acid. That's why there's all this alkaline water on the grocery store shelves. It has health benefits. It balances out all the acids we eat, Now our bodies run at an optimal level when it's slightly alkaline, Consuming alive foods each day alkalizes the body, which of course neutralizes the acids from the dead foods that we're consuming. You can't get away from the dead foods, but you can neutralize those by consuming more alive foods. So what are alive foods? Well, alive foods are veggies, fruits, seeds, and some nuts. There are other things as well. These whole foods, they give you life. They're what's needed to keep your immune system in peak condition. Alive foods still have a life force left to them, They give you life. But sadly, most people today, they consume very little alive foods. Just look at the common plate, And because of that, the immune system takes a beating. It's how cancer cells start to multiply. It's part of why your sickness or disease is still living inside your body. You're too acidic, Last week, I just visited an elementary school for some charity work, and it was really sad because all these kids and what they're eating, it's crazy. It's mainly all dead foods. These kids are being taught how to eat dead foods. But of course, it's not their fault. It's the adults that simply have poor eating habits, and it trickles on down, So what are we to do? What do you do if you have a chronic sickness or disease? What do you do if you're obese or you have diabetes? What do you do if you have lupus or fibromyalgia or some kind of autoimmune disease? The absolute first thing you should do is to sharply reduce all the dead foods from your food regimen. And for some of you, you got to completely eliminate these dead foods. Not, forever, but you got to get rid of them for quite some time because you're slowly killing yourself. And that, to me, that's selfish. Now you know. So besides consuming more alive foods, the other area that needs to be addressed is water intake. For so many of you, you're not only drinking poor quality water, but you're not even coming close to drinking enough on a day-to-day basis. Water is actually the first thing I discuss when I work with a client, and it's because, the body can go months without eating, but it can only go about 48 hours without drinking water. So obviously water is more important. Now, dehydration is not only the number one cause of daytime fatigue, but it's also a major contributor to poor health. If you're not drinking enough water, your body is not filtering properly. Your colon dries up. Your cells are not working in harmony. Your organs, your blood, your skin, anything in your body that has a function to do is severely impacted in a negative mannerism by dehydration. If you're overweight, the very first thing you should do is focus on your water intake. Most people that are overweight, they have the bad habit of not drinking enough water. I mean, it's insane how little water they drink. So how much water should you be drinking? Well, in my opinion, the minimum amount of water that we should all be drinking on a day-to-day basis is at least 96 ounces of water. That's 3 1-liter bottles of water. For many of you, that might seem like an impossibility because of where you're at now. But all you have to do is decide you're going to do it and then slowly start to incorporate it, incorporate that habit into your life. You don't have to start off by, cramming down 3 liters of water right away. Just chip away at it. Make it your goal to drink 3 liters of water a day. So, maybe for now you drink 1 liter, you get up to 2, work your way up, you get up to 96 ounces, It might take you a few weeks to get there, but I can assure you that it's one of the healthiest things that you can do for your body. You know, most people know that our bodies are made up of over 70% water, and if you're not drinking enough, common sense, you're robbing your entire body of its proper functionality. You know, so when I do nutrition counseling, the first thing that we start with, which is mandatory, by the way, is a food and water journal. Statistics say that when we keep track of everything that we eat or drink, our results, they go up tremendously. And that's because, you know, we're consciously focusing on what we're putting in the body. Now, most likely, you're going to be a creature of habit, like myself. You know, you eat the same things day in and day out. That doesn't change. Maybe you'll eat a little variety, but for the most part, you're a creature of habit. You know, you drink the same amount of water every day. You eat the same kinds of foods. If you eat out, you're buying from the same places, etc., etc. So this actually makes it easier to make adjustments. You know, after 1 week of jotting everything down that you eat or drink, what we do is we then have something to analyze and make adjustments to. Now, typically in just 7 days after you writing things down, okay, of everything you eat, and if you're honest, I can tell you exactly where your bad habits are coming from. You know, and this is where the starting point has to come from. You have to start by analyzing your daily eating and drinking habits, because I can assure you that, you know, all of your health issues that you may be having, your weight problems, your diabetes problems, your autoimmune diseases, all that kind of stuff, for the majority of you, again, there are exceptions, but for the majority of you, you were not born with these conditions. You created these conditions through poor choices, which came from bad habits. Now, granted, it may have been passed down from generation through your family, but you have no excuses now. You know, you created these diseases and sicknesses in your body through bad habits. You know, we address the bad habits, we make changes, and your health improves. It's that simple. My name's Logan. This is Brain, Body, Soul. Thanks for watching.
Brain, body, soul. Live life from the inside.